If you're an ambitious person with a big vision for your life, but you know that you're not living up to your full potential, I want to go over 7 ways to break out of bad habits, to get you unstuck, to start creating real momentum in your life that's going to lead you toward the life that you want. Every single one of these has completely changed my life and taken me from someone who was depressed, lost, confused. I had no idea what my purpose was. I had so much self-doubt and I always felt burnt out no matter how hard I was trying. But through trial and error, I learned how to take my bad habits and turn them into good habits that I don't negotiate, that are automatic for me. And I want to share everything that I did and currently still do to not only get me good results, but feel like I'm actually enjoying the process. Step number 1 is to learn to create systems that alleviate the need for willpower at all. I had a massive paradigm shift when I started to think about willpower as a limited resource. Willpower takes up a lot of energy. It's like Newton's first law. An object at rest wants to stay at rest, but an object in motion wants to stay in motion. So willpower is the hinge that takes you from a state of resting to a state of motion. If you feel like you're locked in, clocked out, locked in, clocked out, and you always have to re-lock in, the answer isn't more willpower. The answer is, how can I stop clocking out? The more decisions that you have to make, the more negotiations that you have to make with yourself on a daily basis of whether or not you're going to do something, whether or not you're going to go to the gym, whether or not you're going to make your bed, whether or not you're going to wake up early, whether or not you're going to create content that day, the more drained you're going to be, the faster you're going to burn out. Life will feel impossible because your willpower is limited. Typically, you have more willpower when you first wake up and it slowly gets drained throughout the day. So if you're trying to do your most difficult task at the end of the day, you have nothing left to give and it's going to be a lot harder to actually accomplish that task. So what you need is a system that doesn't work for your friend, doesn't work for somebody else, that works for you. A system is something that you have in place that isn't negotiated with. For instance, I cannot tell you how much easier my life got when I created a system around content creation, which means that on Wednesdays, today is a Wednesday, I film, okay? I get ready for the day. I know that even if I don't feel like filming, I'm going to film. It doesn't mean that I can't film on other days, but I absolutely am going to film on Wednesdays no matter what. And my whole content creation structure is based off that Wednesday filming day. That means the 2 days before, I'm ideating, I'm scripting. And then Thursdays and Fridays, I'm editing, I'm scheduling, I'm making thumbnails. And it's not about being strict and it's not about being rigid. It's actually about creating something that allows me to alleviate the mental stress of asking myself every single day, should I film today? What am I going to film today? I don't have to ask myself those questions. That drains me. I can already know each day of the week has something that I have to attend to, and I can rely and trust on that system instead of relying on willpower. Does it take a little bit of time to figure out what system works for you? Yes. Do you need willpower to actually start implementing it? Yes. But just remember, the willpower that you need at the beginning to implement the system isn't something that you're going to need for long. You really only need it at the beginning to start it, and then it just runs on its own. A good system doesn't require you to have constant willpower. Think of it like a part of kindling. If you're starting a fire, you don't need to burn the whole log of kindling. You only need to have a little bit of chunk and then stack it on some twigs, and then the fire just goes on itself. And yes, you have to keep stoking, you have to keep adding wood in order for it to continue. But you don't have to keep starting the fire and letting it die down to zero, starting the fire and letting it die down to zero. What's going to help you maintain that fire is doing the work to start it and then adding a log here and there. Choose a system that you can say will guarantee your results. Another example for me is I've always wanted to do the handstands and I've always wanted to do the splits. So instead of saying, oh, should I practice the splits today? Should I practice the handstand? I actually just practice yoga. Because yoga, in addition to having literally so many other benefits, mental, physical, I know that if I practice yoga every day, eventually I'm going to be able to do the handstands and splits. So that practice, that system that I have in place is going to get me to my goals, even though I'm nowhere near them yet. And so I can relax. I don't have to focus on getting to a result so quickly because I know that if I just do what I need to do, I will get there. And I trust that. And that's what makes my life feel so peaceful. And that's why it looks so disciplined, because I'm just functioning within a system that works for me. The next thing is to stop moralizing productivity. This is something that I have struggled with for a really long time and still somewhat struggle with, but being more productive, being more consistent doesn't make you a better person. It simply gives you more freedom. Freedom is one of my biggest values, and almost everything I do is to freedom max. Like, I'm not trying to work for somebody else. Like, that seems really oppressive to me. If I have the ability to create a life of full freedom, financial freedom, high agency, spiritual freedom, being able to choose my own spiritual path, not having to fit in any one religion, being able to choose what kind of friendships I want, what partner that I want, what kind of lifestyle that I want. If I have the ability to choose, I want to take it. I want the ultimate life of ultimate freedom, and discipline is freedom. Right now, I'm not thinking about having to edit or schedule. I don't have to, because that's not a problem for today. That's a problem for tomorrow. This is the only task that I have to do. It's as if I'm eating a 10-course meal, and while I'm eating the 3rd course, I'm worried about if the 8th course is going to get to me on time or what's going to be served on the 9th course. No, I don't have to worry about all that. I just have to enjoy the meal that I'm eating right now. And that is freedom, not having to worry about what's coming next, but just doing the task in front of me. Discipline is simply just repeating an action so many times that you stop negotiating because it's just so automatic. Like when you wake up in the morning and you brush your teeth, it is such a comfort to know that everything that is hard for me to do now can eventually become easy, can eventually become automatic. But I have to say yes to the challenge in front of me, knowing full well that if I keep doing it, it will no longer be a challenge. Going to the gym 4 times a week, lifting, knowing how many reps, knowing how many sets, knowing how to navigate my way through the gym, that took a long time for it to become automatic. I had to do a lot of research. I had to figure out what worked for me. I had to take what people were saying and translate it into my experience. I heard the same things over and over and over again, but for it to actually get into my life, right? Like something like mind-muscle connection or training to failure, those are words that I heard literally so many times, but then one day it would click, like, oh, training to failure. Like, it clicks when you start doing it. But you could have so much knowledge and have literally no experience, and of course you're going to think it doesn't work because you're not having the experience to back up the knowledge that you have. And again, none of this makes anybody better or worse than anyone else. It's just, what kind of life do you want? Do you want a life where every single day you wake up and you have to force yourself to do things because you're negotiating to do them or not? Or do you just want to put the things that are hard on automatic so they're not hard anymore, right? It's literally just a decision. The reason I want to be disciplined is because I'm lazy. I don't want to have to be exerting effort constantly. The third thing is to make sure that the systems that you have in place are reverse engineered from your goals. So whatever result that you want, ask yourself, why don't I have it? Am I acting in a way that is keeping me from that result? Do I have limiting beliefs? Are there feelings that I have that are keeping me from that result? Are there thoughts that I have? If you think this is impossible for me, it's never going to happen, that thought is literally keeping you from the result that you want. You can change that by changing your thoughts. Every time you think I can't do it, you have to literally guard your mind. I think the Bible says guard your mind, guard your heart, guard the thoughts that you think. Every single thing you think, every feeling that you have is manifesting the life that you have. So what you're doing now is creating your future. If your goal seems really far away, being able to tolerate how far away you are from your goal is also a part of really being ambitious. If you're an ambitious person, the gap is probably going to be big. If you weren't ambitious, it probably would seem easy. Do you want to do a puzzle that only has 4 pieces and then feel good about doing that? Or do you want a 1,000-piece puzzle? Right? People who are ambitious usually want the 1,000-piece puzzle. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit more time, but just know it's because you're ambitious. It's because you're creating something bigger. And that means it's more worth it. Taking the time to honestly look at your life, do a life audit and say, is everything that I repeat every day actually going to bring me to the life that I want? And the answer is probably going to be yes and no. It's picking one thing and just working it until that's automatic. Then the next thing, working it until it's automatic. It's a slow process, but it's supposed to be slow. Which leads me to my next point, which is to go slow. Everybody thinks they want a easy result. Everybody thinks they want a fast result, but Money made fast can also be lost just as fast. That's why people who win the lottery, within 3 years, they're back to the exact same place that they were, because they got fast money and they didn't actually know how to manage it. They didn't know how to grow it. They treated that big lottery winning the same way that they treat the money they have now. A relationship that feels electric at the beginning can also burn out really quickly. Weight loss through an unsustainable diet, through crash dieting where you lose a lot of weight fast, as soon as you stop, it'll put you back in the exact same place even faster. If you can get it fast, you can lose it fast. Our obsession with things that are fast and easy is a distraction. If you want things to last, you have to give up the idea of it coming to you fast. It will come to you all at once after you've put in the effort. It's like growing a tree. If you're growing a tree from a seed, growing it into a big, huge tree that actually produces fruit doesn't happen overnight, right? That's a whole process. But the process of a fruit going from not ripe, not ready to eat, to ripe and ready to eat is instant. So when people say that it can happen in an instant, that's what they mean. But you can't grow a tree from seed to a fruit-bearing tree in an instant. That's not what it is. That's not what happens. That's a misdirection. That's wanting a result that you haven't earned. The results aren't even going to be satisfying because you didn't do anything to get them. We actually want to go through the process. Start associating the words easy and fast with cheap and worthless, okay? Do you want your life to be Temu or however you say it, or Shein? Or do you want it to be a handcrafted beaded skirt with crystals that a craftsman put together over months? What kind of life do you want? Anything worth doing will come at a cost, and it is through repetitive efforts that compound slowly. Another paradigm shift that I had was, yes, life gets to be easy, but it also gets to be challenging. It's both. It's not, oh, it's either challenging or it's easy, right? Kind of like how I was talking about a puzzle. I want to do a challenging puzzle. How challenging can it get? How capable can I be? How can I rise to the challenge in front of me? And how can I work hard towards the things that are meaningful to me? How you choose to see your challenges will dictate your experience of them. My first job right out of college was a high school teacher, and I taught choir, and we would sometimes have these grueling Saturday rehearsals that would last like 5-8 hours. And I remember my first year, I didn't say anything. And when we were there, the kids were complaining, they were bored, they were antsy, they needed snacks, all this stuff. And I learned my lesson. In the second year, I sat them all down and I said, listen, Saturday is going to be an extremely long day. There are going to be times where you're bored. So make sure that you bring things to entertain yourself. Make sure that you bring homework. I set up the expectation, and it wasn't going to be easy. The second year, no complaints, because their expectations were set. How you set up your expectations of how you respond to challenges is going to completely change how you interface with it. Challenges are good. They help us grow. They help us become the people that we're meant to be. Having that mindset will make you into a strong person. And Tony Robbins says that good times create weak people, and weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people, and strong people create good times. So if you're trying to create better experiences in your life, actually those challenges that you face, those unfair disadvantages, can low-key turn into advantages. I honestly think one of the most magnetic qualities anyone can have is responding to challenges with excitement, or at least with acceptance, which leads me to my next point, which is to lean into the discomfort and be willing to do hard things. If you're creating something new, a new habit, a new reality, a new experience, right? You have something in your life and you're like, yeah, this isn't it. I want something different. Your old self is going to be dragging you back into your old reality. Every time you try to change something, you try to make a shift, it's going to say, no, this is unfamiliar. I don't like that. This is feeling really unsafe. I don't like to feel uncomfortable. Let's just go back to how we've always done it. That is what it feels like to change. To want to have a new life means struggling and wrestling, literally like kicking off the old version of you that is stuck in these patterns and behaviors. And there will be a tug of war for a little bit. It's not a failure to go back to your old habits and then recommit. That recommitment process is showing you that you're on the path to changing your life, to actually having a new life. That is a difficult thing to do, and you have to accept and lean into the discomfort. Changing my life is not going to be a comfortable decision. It is such a huge misunderstanding to think that if something is meant for me, it's just going to come to me easily and I won't really have to try. try. There are moments in life where things flow, but that's not all of life. Those are only choice moments. In between all of those moments is the upward climb up the mountain. Do you get to the top eventually? Yes, but you can't get to the top without the climb. It's the climb. Can almost see it. That dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it. Really channel Miley and remember that when you're experiencing resistance, you're going in the right direction. I want to talk about something that has genuinely changed my life, and it's thinking about everything as a relationship. Instead of thinking, oh, I have to get better at all these content creation techniques, or oh, I have to look up all this YouTube growth stuff, or oh, I have to learn financial literacy and budgeting, all these words. I don't think about it at all. The way I think about it is that I'm a guy and I'm pursuing this girl who is really cool, and I've heard a lot about her, and she really has a lot to offer. Everybody's obsessed with her, aka money, or aka success, or aka content creation. And I'm like, okay, well, how do I get to know somebody? I'm curious about them. I really am asking questions so what do you like? What makes you tick? Girl, show me what you like. Show me what I can do to make you bloom, to make you blossom. How can I get to know money so that I know how to talk to it? I know its love languages per se, in the sense of I understand it. I get it. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not avoiding it. What kind of relationship would flourish if you think that it's the root of all evil? If you're always saying money is the root of all evil, or you think negatively of money, or you have mostly negative experiences with money, just switch out the word money with person, with some sort of person. Is that a good relationship? So it's actually quite easy to get better at something or gain a skill if you just think of it as a relationship. My relationship with social media. How can I make it flourish? How can I make it grow? It doesn't have to be this scary thing. It's I know how to get to know people. I know how to make people feel loved. How can I make money feel loved? How can I make my social media channels feel loved? How can I pour into it? I'm gonna look up videos of what makes the algorithm really work for me, instead of saying the algorithm hates me. Does it hate you, or are you just really not doing the things that it likes? You know what I'm saying? So think about everything in your life, everything you want to change, as a relationship. And lastly, really remembering to enjoy the life in front of you will just honestly give you the resilience and the stamina that you need to keep going, because things do get challenging and life happens. And I'm not here to say that it's as simple as knowing these things. Implementing these things is extremely painful. I've cried so many times. I've literally screamed so many times. I've felt the whole spectrum of human emotion going after the life that I want. And that's what it's supposed to feel like. So in the midst of creating something that I think is worth creating, enjoying the really, really small things, enjoying a nice coffee, lighting a really nice candle with a really nice scent, not denying yourself these small happinesses on the way to the bigger goals. It really makes the biggest difference. Being with friends, being with family, making time for them. And not that it doesn't take sacrifice, of course it does. Intentionally creating beautiful things and focusing on it. Everything doesn't have to have a function, or the function can literally be to make your life better, to help you enjoy it, to make you like your life. If you're not liking your life, what's the point? If sacrifice isn't also coupled with some sort of enjoyment, then I'm really uninterested in that kind of life. It is honestly so cool and so exciting that you can get better at whatever you want. Anyone can see the world however they want, in a way that actually is aligned with who they are. And I really believe that the more people are doing what they're called to do, people who take what's painful in their life and turn it into purpose, that's literally the answer to world peace. So how do we do that? One person at a time. So go for what you want, accept the challenge, do it willingly. If these kinds of topics interest you, please subscribe to my channel. I post every single Wednesday. And thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.